Hello and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program. I'm Cat Trans Gamer, and this is the second episode of the Science Rover. This one we're going to go ahead and launch our craft. So we go ahead and click over on the launch pad, and we come on down to our whatever you named your launch vehicle. I named it Mun Science Rover, and let's go ahead and get our victims into the craft. Yes, we got Jebediah flying the cupola, flying in the top cupola module, or the front of the rover. Then we've got Bob and Max Trid Kerman as our scientist, and we got Bill Kerman as our all together, put it back together, fix it kind of guy. So let's go ahead and launch this thing. And there's our craft as it sits on the launch pad. Very beautiful, very ready to go up into space and head to Mun. So again, as I wrote in the last video about rerouting, you must make sure in order to control this craft, you have to reroute back to the cupola module, one of the cupola modules, or the guidance unit or something that's actually controlling the craft, one of the control modules. I recommend you just reroute straight back to this cupola module in the very front, the very first one you put down in the spaceplane hangar. So make sure you do that in the vehicle assembly building before you launch this craft. Otherwise, when you click to go over to the map assembly, or the map, everything's going to go all funky. You're going to see this, it's going to turn day to night, night to day, whatever. The sun's going to be off in the north or the south, or it really messes it up. I mean, when I did it, I ended up taking off from Kerbin, but before I was in orbit, I was flying around Mun. And then while flying around Mun, or while I'm trying to still continue to get into orbit, manually circulating my orbit with just the surface speed, orbital speed, and altitude without even being able to go to the map, I ended up around Minmus. And the whole time, I wasn't even over 70,000 meters, which would have put me into space in the first place. I was still in the atmosphere of Kerbin. So yeah, it went all, graphics went all funky and everything. It was really weird. But, yep. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and launch this craft. And you guys know how to get to where you're going. If you're going to a different body besides Mun or Minmus, message me and I'll give you an idea of how you're supposed to line up to get to those bodies. Or drop a comment. Other than that, I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this launch, because everyone here pretty much knows how to launch a rocket. And I will see you guys when we get to Mun. Alrighty, so here we are doing our final initial burn into orbit around Mun. And there it is. So let's finish this burn up. There we go. And let's see what we're looking at. We've got a periapse of 8,000 meters, which I'm going to go ahead and land right there at the, right in there. But first, I wanted to show you guys, look how much fuel is left in this tank here. Remember, this is supposed to be our orbiting stage to get us actually in orbit. But we ended up using this one. So we ended up with quite a bit of fuel left over on this build. So let's go ahead and get this maneuver node figured out. Now, it is easier to sometimes land in these big craters because they are pretty much smooth. You only got a few potholes in them, usually. But I'm going to land, oops, right into this crater here. Or into this area of craters. Nope, not extend. Retract. I want to drop speed. Now look at that. I'm going to be doing this from about 8,500 meters off the ground. That's how close I'm going to get to hitting something. Hitting the surface. So I'm only going to have a few thousand meters to burn off all the speed and everything on this thing. And I think we can do it. First things first. Get pointed at our maneuver. Oh, and a very big important thing. Always rotate your craft so it's horizontal with the ground. Because you're going to want the wheels obviously pointed down. And I'm going to do some funky staging here. Time warp complete. Woo. We can almost land just like this. Look at this. We're so close to the surface. Woo. Okay, let the graphics load for a sec. And I'm going to go ahead and get all this done. Now, I'm going to go ahead and burn this engine until we know we're going to hit the, until we know we're in a suborbital flight. So let's go ahead and burn this. Get us into a suborbital flight. So probably a couple hundred meters per second from finishing. Then I'm going to drop that big stage off. Then I'm going to use the orbital stage to finish off burning the rest of it. So let's go ahead and detach that. Use our orbital stage to finish burning off the speed. Alright. And we're going to have to detach that stage now. And activate our engines. And start killing off our vertical speed. I mean, look at that. And if you do this from a higher altitude, you'll have more time to slow down. Look at that, we got shadows already. Okay, so what do we got for, oh, okay. So now we just slide across the hemisphere until we get our wheels lined up with one of these. So there we are. Either forward or backwards orbiting node, it doesn't matter. But we do want to keep our vertical speed going down. But now we've got lateral motion. And it's okay to have lateral motion. We've got lateral motion of about 5 meters per second. And I don't want to land directly on this ridge, so I want to get just past this ridge. So I got to kill off some of my vertical speed. And your vertical speed, remember, it's that gauge up there by your altitude. And right now I'm going at about -7 meters per second or so. It's about -6 meters per second, -5, something like that. And all I'm trying to do is just clear this ridge. kill off some more vertical speed. Watch our shadow. And get just past that ridge there. Do I recommend you guys do this? No, I recommend you guys try to approach this from a higher altitude. Just because if it's your first time landing a rover like this, you might have to, if on your build, if you notice when you're dropping and trying to kill off your vertical speed, you tend to start flipping over. Well, whichever side is going up, take the engines from that side and reduce the thrust a little bit. You know, put a thrust limiter on it. So if you're raising a little bit, drop your thrust limiter to 80%. And then on those two engines on that side that's going up, and then see if you can keep it steady, up and straight up and down, like this. And I'm just trying to keep my vertical speed under that -10 mark. And that's all I'm doing, is just slowly coming down. I'm trying to keep the craft pointed towards the direction of movement. Go ahead and apply the brakes. And kill the motors. So there we are. We're now on the surface. And I even landed on a hillside, just coming down slowly. And you keep an eye on your vertical speed up here. And you keep that needle under somewhere between right around -5. And you should have no problem landing this thing on the surface. So now that I'm on the surface, I don't need these engines anymore. So I drop them off. And we'll turn our brakes off. Woo. Got so much SAS control on this thing, it's ridiculous. I'm going to turn off SAS. And then I just start roving around, collecting all the science data you want. Don't forget to extend your solar panels, so that way you can recharge your batteries. And when you find yourself going over ledges and getting in the air, turn on SAS and balance yourself out. Aim yourself straight towards the surface and try to get yourself aimed in the direction that your prograde's going. As long as you don't go over those ledges too fast, you should be able to control it fairly easily. And then you turn your SAS off, because controlling rovers with SAS on, if you push forward, your craft is going to try to flip forward, like that. So you don't want to have SAS on while you're trying to drive on the surface. You only want to use SAS to help try to keep your craft from flipping once you get in the air. Craft keeps wanting to slide side to side here. So I'll turn SAS on, gain control. If you turn it on and then point towards prograde, it will automatically control itself back into a straight line. And then you just turn off SAS and push forward on the wheels again. But the less gravity, the harder it's going to be to control this craft. Just heads up on that. Oh, we don't need this maneuver anymore, do we? And now you just drive around collecting science data. And then these rockets right here. If I was playing in science mode, or if I was playing in career mode, the seismic sensor right here, if I can zoom into it, seismic sensor right here. Come on. There it is. Seismic accelerometer. There we go. That would register when these things impact. And what's nice is all you do is you cycle through. Oops. I know where I went wrong there. Okay. I forgot to throttle up before we activated it. So let's go ahead and there we go. Got rid of that one. Now, when you go to launch these things, make sure you throttle up. You want to turn SAS on and then launch them. Okay, I don't know why it's not letting me do this. And then you switch over to it. You can throttle back up now once you switch back to it. And then you just point it towards the ground, wherever you want it to land. And when it impacts, you'll get a note saying seismic something happened. You can recover scientific data from one of your science accelerometers on the surface. And of course, yes, you will have some debris to pick up once you get back to the Space Center. So make sure you pick up all this extra debris. Let's see. We got anything else flying around? Nope. Everything else is landed. Or we can't see the science debris. But yeah, there's your rover right there. Oh yeah, there you go. Let me turn the brakes on again. This is why you don't use the wheels with SAS on. Try to push forward, because with the brakes on, you should not be able to move. But because we've got so much SAS control on this thing, we're able to actually maneuver this craft around with the brakes on. So let's go fly over this ridge. We're gonna hit it as fast as possible. Come on, aim right. Come on. There we go. Nope. Oh, I know what I did wrong. Okay. Why am I having such a hard time control this thing? Because it's taking my input as SAS as reaction wheel input. So I'll go ahead and apply the brakes. And reaction wheel, you gotta change this to SAS only on all these things. So that way when you push forward, you're not trying to control your craft. Okay, there we go. Now let's go find a place to jump off of. There we go. Now we should keep all the wheels on the ground. I should be able to control this thing a little bit better now. There we go. Come on. We'll go find another. We'll go try and jump over this ledge. And since now all the reaction wheels are only SAS only, this craft isn't, when I push forward, it's not trying to flip over with the reaction wheels. And look at that, surface speed up to 30 meters per second and still gaining some speed. But I am going downhill, so that does help. Ooh. Gaining air on some of these jumps. Whoa. And there we go. Line up with the ground. Turn on SAS. And you just keep running around. I don't know why I got a motor up there. Come on. There we go. You do got to try to keep the wheels on the ground, otherwise you're not going to have any control, because all the reaction wheels are set to SAS only. This thing's just all over the place, spinning around. Uncontrolled! See, I'm using SAS to help get this craft straight, and then I'm able to turn it off and just use the wheels again. Okay, I'm going to retract the solar panels because I think I might be rolling here in a sec. Nope, whew. Jebediah's having a blast with this thing. Cleared the ridge. Alright. Turn on SCS and switch SCS to prograde. Woo! That was close. How fast can you travel across Mun? Is this what they call a flat spin? Oh, there's a ridge coming up. Come on. Get pointed at that ridge. Okay, I'm going to turn this to player input to normal. So that way I've got some control while in the air. Because this should be interesting. I don't know if I'm going to be able to clear this ridge or not. I'm going to try. Definitely going to gain some speed coming down here. Oh, whoa, vertical speed. Watch my vertical speed. Whew, bouncing. That was close. Alright, am I going to have enough speed to do this? I need to have enough speed to get up that cliff there. Come on. You can do it, Jebediah. Okay, SAS on. And I want to change SAS to follow prograde marker. So the rest of the reaction wheels are trying to keep me going in a straight line, while I just push forward on the motors and climb this thing. Look at Kerbin right there. Photo op. Alright. Oh, SAS. Back to stability assist. Don't follow prograde, otherwise we'll land straight into the ground. Now that we're back on the ground, we can go prograde. Now where are we? Look at that. We landed around here and we're already halfway to this thing. So we just need to keep heading towards 270, which is west. And as long as you keep your speed up above 1 meter per second, you'll stay on prograde marker. Once you get off of 1 meter per second, or slower than 1 meter per second speed, that's when you lose the ability to do prograde marker or follow any particular marker, and you'll just switch back to stability assist. Just normal mode. So, yeah. When you go over big ledges, make sure you turn off prograde marker. Because you notice every time I get in the air, I kind of start angling down. That's because I'm following the prograde marker. Oh, I'm gonna have to... This is gonna hurt. I'm right on the edge of a mountain. Oh. It's gonna be a lot of bumps up ahead. Come on, we can do it. Hey, this is working out a lot better now. I got all the SAS figured out. So yeah, something else I would have added to this, I would have added a front and back light, so you could use this at nighttime. And you do want to watch your electrical charge. Another thing I would have added to this craft is a couple of stationary single panel solar panels, two on each cupola module, just to give it the ability to recharge. Say you run out of battery life and you're like, well, can't extend the solar panels, so you put those on there so you can keep the charge going and recharge a little bit. Alright, where are we at compared to that crater now? We gotta start heading a little southwest. So, start aiming towards 225. Remember, there's no reason to push forward when you're in the air, because otherwise you're going to start flipping like that. If you let go of your thumbstick when you get in the air, you should travel, if you're going at fast enough speed, pretty level with the ground, unless you end up going over a big drop. That's when you're going to want to turn SA off to regular stability assist. I almost want to go up over those mountains. But I also want to get into that crater that's probably right over those mountains. Alright, come on. There we go. Getting more closer to 225. I want to head southwest. And let's see. We're traveling pretty fast. And see, your scientists would normally be working on scientific experiments you've collected while you're traveling. Just tap circle and turn on circle again. You get SAS and it resets it. But look at my vertical speed. Vertical speed's starting to get a little dangerous. Went red. Ooh. Nice bounce. Alright, SAS back to prograde. And we start traveling again. But yeah, the trick is turn all the reaction wheels. You want to turn them all to SAS only, except for one of them. That way you've got control, some control while in the air. And I would recommend using one of the Capula modules as your SAS while you're in the air. Just because it gives you just the right amount of torque to do some stuff like roll, left, and pitch. And you always want to try to land it so all the wheels hit the ground at the same time. So that way you can kind of prevent yourself from breaking a wheel or impacting and flipping your craft over. Kind of like this. And there goes our craft. Oh no, Jebediah is dead. Jebediah is dead. We've lost our science equipment. It's okay, at least we've still got solar panels. But we lost Jebediah. That was all our, this was all our science equipment. So, Bob Matrix and Bill Kerman are now stuck on Mun because Jebediah went over area too fast and wasn't paying attention, didn't level out his craft, and yeah. So that's the importance of making sure your craft stays level while going at high speeds. Because you saw I flipped that thing right over. So we've lost all our scientific experiments. But, oh yeah, I built that into Custom 9. Ladders. At least these guys can go explore. And we didn't lose all of our batteries. We only lost 4 out of the 12 smaller batteries, and we still got the big round one. But yeah, we lost complete ability to control this craft as far as SAS wise, because our guidance unit's gone, our pilot's gone, and I don't think Bill's gonna be able to fix this. So that's all I've got for our Science Rover. Now play around with the build a little bit and take it where you want. See what kind of stuff you guys can do with this thing. And I don't recommend just bouncing around like I was. Actually go do the science. There's a lot of interesting stuff. There's a lot of stuff to explore on this planet. I mean, I didn't get that far. I landed right in here and made it to here, and I was trying to get to here. So made it just over halfway. Yeah, I'm Cat Trans Gamer, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!